It's time to sit back and check out the RCWR show with Lee Sanders. Get fun, in-depth coverage and analysis from the latest in professional wrestling in AEW, WWE, NWA, Impact Wrestling, or the world of entertainment. From hit TV shows to your favorite sports like the NBA or NFL. All things music, movies, and beyond, while trying to make sense of this crazy world we live in. All while keeping it honest, insightful, and interactive since 2011. And now your hosts, live from the nation's capital of Washington, D.C., Lee Sanders.
Yeah, what is going on, my pretty babies? Lee Sanders with you guys for this Monday night edition of the RCWR show, coming at you guys for this last, what is it? Yeah, it is the last day of March 31st. 2025. I hope you guys had a fantastic weekend, and depending on where you are, hopefully you're done with winter. I know over here in the DC metropolitan area, it has been feeling like summertime. Oh, I tell you what, the high today was 74 degrees, if I'm not mistaken. I know Sunday was a fantastic day out here, especially with the cherry blossoms that finally reached their final phase. As we had a lot of tours, everybody and their mama was out to see the cherry blossoms over the weekend down in DC there, right? Like, you know how it is with the cherry blossoms in DC if you've ever traveled over here before. So it's just pandemonium that's going on right now. But yeah, summer, it is feeling like it is here. I'm already going for the AC. Okay, now more than ever. It's just insane, but I'm loving it. I'm not complaining whatsoever. If anything, I got to look into the air conditioner for my car, because now that we're getting these warmer temperatures, I'm personally finding that it's not blowing the cold air like it used to. So it's kind of weird because and maybe it's not weird. I'm still kind of learning as a new driver that in the winter time, yeah, if you want heat in your car, like that's a no-brainer, like that's fine. But what if it gets too hot while you're in your car and you decide, no, you know what, I want to go with the AC? That was working for me for the longest time. But now that we've got these warmer temperatures, I was telling my girl about it because she's more of a car expert than I am. And she was like, oh, it sounds like you need to recharge. Like, really? Yeah, you got to recharge. You got to add a coolant. I'm like, is that something I can do on my own? She's like, nah, you got to take it to a professional and let them do it. I'm like, oh, okay. All right, cool. So I trust her at her word. Hey, what did you guys think about this week's Raw? This was the final WWE Raw. Basically overseas, as next week WWE comes on back to the United States. I know there are a lot of you guys that are particularly going to be happy for that, because I would imagine these past several weeks, the whole time zones, you probably haven't been feeling it, right? I mean, let's be honest. 1 week you're doing 3 o'clock in the afternoon. The next week, you're doing 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Week after that, you're doing 3 o'clock in the afternoon. I would imagine there's a decent amount of you guys that's like, yeah, you can miss me with all that. Let me just get it back at the regular time. Thank you very much. But I tell you what, it ended strong. A few little holes here and there that you can definitely poke throughout. Really, my biggest takeaway from the overseas tour that WWE has been doing these past several weeks has honestly been the fans in attendance. They have pretty much elevated what is undoubtedly mediocre shows that we've been getting, but the fans have been amplifying it. The fans in attendance, they've been amplifying these shows with their enthusiastic energy, you just couldn't help but go, man, I wish I was part of that crowd. And it was a fun trend seeing, okay, what's happening in Dublin, or insert whatever, right? Insert where they're at. And then the next week, that crowd is going, oh, we got to top that. You see what they did over there? We got to top that. We got to make sure we bring that energy. So it's pretty much been a great example these past several weeks of, all right, top that. Let's see what you can do. Shout out to everybody overseas. Seriously, y'all brought really, really solid energy. I loved it. What a nice way to end the run, though, this European stretch. What a great way to end it, because they ended it at the O2 Arena. If you know any and everything about the O2 Arena out there in London, a lot of big acts have performed at that particular arena. A lot of really well-known great acts. So they ended on a very good note. We had Michael Cole, Pat McAfee, Wade Barrett was in the house. Wade Barrett was actually here. I thought for sure maybe we were going to get actually, you know what? I wasn't sure what we were going to get, to be perfectly honest with you. I wasn't sure if it was going to be Pat and Cole, or if it was going to be maybe Michael and Corey Graves again. But no, we got a 3-man team this go round and everything. So, one of my biggest trepidations that I had going into this week's WWE RAW, if you checked out the show from last week, webcast versions available, as well as the audio version for on-demand downloads wherever you get your podcasts. I said, a third consecutive week, we're going to get John Cena and Cody Rhodes in the ring again. Sparks has to fly, because it's been a little bit flat. That was my main concern. And it's been so refreshing to see that I am not the only one that has been looking at this glaring omission of The Rock and Travis Scott. But look, if you want to just say the hell with Travis Scott, it's like a one-time deal. Okay, whatever. And you just want to say The Rock. Okay, let's home in on The Rock then. But I love the fact that for these past several weeks, almost since the jump, I have been like, yo, what is going on with The Rock not being mentioned? And the fact that it's, I'm not the only one that's noticed this, right? There are other, whether you want to call them mom and pop podcasts, or, the usual suspects that's been, on the bigger scale, that's been noticing this omission as well. It's great that collectively we all have been talking about this. We all have sounded off on this as one voice, because it's like, yo, what is, what's the deal? Because when you really, really break this down, you're going, okay, well, it's not like The Rock helped John Cena, at least as far as we know. It's not like The Rock helped John Cena get into the positions that he ultimately got himself in, which is the number one contender, getting a shot at Cody's championship at WrestleMania. Okay, yeah, John Cena, he came up short, but he went to Elimination Chamber and he was able to take care of business when it's all said and done. No matter the fact that there was some type of controversy involved there at the end, he still was able to do it on his own, on his terms, right? So it's one of those, okay, well, you didn't need The Rock, so why exactly are you aligning yourself with The Rock here? At least that's the way it comes off. Now, we still did not get an answer to that for this week's show, but we did get a Rock acknowledgement. Because remember what we said right here last week? I said, it almost comes off to me as if they're not really sure what to do here with this whole Rock Incorporation, and if that's not the case at all, then the sooner that they embrace the Rock's involvement and go there, mention, why did Cena turn heel and everything? Why did he join forces with the Rock? Sooner they address that, the better. But my takeaway, as I mentioned here on the show last week, was it kind of feels as though WWE isn't really sure what the hell to do here. So, and you're still kind of left scratching your head after this week's confrontation. But you're going at the same time, less than 19 days before WrestleMania. Rock is finally acknowledged between these two men. Okay, there's an acknowledgement there. All right, great. We still haven't heard Cody Rhodes say, "Oh yeah, by the way, not only do I got a receipt coming for your ass at WrestleMania, but let The Rock try to get involved. Let his little thug Travis Scott try to get involved. I got receipts for their asses as well." We haven't heard Cody say that yet, but the question probably on your mind, everybody else's mind is, will we eventually get to that? Well, we'll see. We got a couple more shows to go, a little bit over 2 weeks worth. But in the meantime, sparks did fly in this nice confrontation between Cody Rhodes and John Cena. I love the way that this was set up. We essentially had John Cena come out just when he was getting ready to speak on the microphone. Cody coming out there, pretty much stopping him, going, "Nah, nah, nah. Pretty much know what you're going to say. This is part now where you just go ahead and you destroy me on the microphone, right? You're probably going to talk about my lisp. You're probably going to talk about my stupid tattoo. You're probably going to make fun of the fact that you're facing Stardust at WrestleMania." Pretty much Cody Rhodes going, "Yeah, you know what, been there, done that. We pretty much know how this is gonna go and everything." But he says, let's peel the curtain back a little bit and let's reveal for the fans the truth here. Like, not for nothing, but you know what I mean, we've been boys for a long time leading up to this point. We used to ride together and everything. I know that you care a great deal about people and everything. So, why you rolling like this beyond me? Cena finally responding, basically saying he's not gonna punch down to Cody's level, and that with regards to bearing talent, something that he's been known for years and years and years and years and years. And he says, no, on the contrary, he is the talent, and what he's actually bearing is mediocrity. And that's what he sees when he looks at Cody Rhodes. And it almost feels as though seeds have been planted here of maybe an eventual Cody Rhodes heel turn, because I like how John Cena went in and basically said about Cody Rhodes, you've got this suit, the way that you're talking, your tattoo, the way you're trying to represent yourself to these people, you're basically you're basically cosplaying. You're cosplaying. You're still being a caricature when it's all said and done. And so I like. I mean, this promo was very multi-layered. I won't say sophisticated because it wasn't a sophisticated promo, but it was very multi-layered. Okay, let's not hold back any punches here. Let's go for it, right? As opposed to what they've done these previous weeks. Whereas the previous weeks, you didn't really feel as though there was enough sizzle, there was enough pop. I dare say this was what we should have gotten out of the gate the very first time these two guys collided and everything. Love that line that Cody gave too, by the way, where he says, "I guess Superman is dead," right? Linking John Cena to Superman, which, by the way, if they ever were to do an animated series and they need somebody that can do the voice of Superman, I think John Cena would just hit that out of the park big time. True story, fun fact. Speaking of Superman, I just wrapped up watching the final season of Superman and Lois via HBO Max. I came in on the season before last. So I pretty much came in right when they were introducing Lex Luthor. I vowed after the way Smallville ended, I will never watch a live action Superman, whatever it is, spinoff, whatever the hell it is. Like, I'm done. But off and on over the years, I heard so many great things about Superman and Lois that it really piqued my curiosity. So I came in last year, right before the season ended, and I was like, wow, this is the actor that plays Lex Luthor. I know him from Walking Dead. So as soon as I heard he was going to be Lex Luthor, I said, oh shit, this is going to be good then. Let me see what's going on, because if he's involved, this has to be halfway decent then. And sure enough, it was great series. I love the way the final season ended. It ended extremely strong. Man, that final episode, though, for those of you that watch Superman and Lois or watched it at some point, that final episode, man, was that a Debbie Downer. I won't give any spoilers, but man, was that a Debbie Downer. But yeah, if they ever did a animated joint, I think John Cena definitely would crush it as Clark Kent Superman. Anyway, Cena continuing on talking about how he essentially gave Cody Rhodes the blueprint so that he could run the kingdom. As for years, Rhodes sat by Cena's side, taking in all the information, learning from him, trying to learn how to do it all himself. And he is disgusted over the fact that Rhodes has to get himself over with cheap gimmicks like having the fans chant his name, calling him the Pied Piper, as he uses cheap tricks to get people to follow him. Goes on further to say all we get is some big mixture of every single TV show character that Rhodes has ever watched, liked as a kid, and says that this dude is still scared of speaking in public. Like, damn, I mean, he is really going for the jugular here off the break and everything. Goes on to call Cody Rhodes a nepo baby carrying the title when he has his gimmick tattooed on his neck, saying that Rhodes is nothing more than just like the people in attendance, a common fan. And pretty much when he takes that championship away, because that championship to him, it means so much. And he is just disgusted over the fact that a guy such as Cody Rhodes has that championship, but vows that once he becomes the champion, Cody can do just like the other fans and go on Fanatics and buy the toy title and be the people's champion. Nice little throw there to Dwayne the Rock Johnson. Nice. I love these little innuendos that we got going on here. Rhodes says that the people chose him. That was his rebuttal, but he added more fuel to that fire, saying, unlike your reality where some this decision was up to one man, and we see how that ended for him. He's no longer here. That got a nice ooh from the crowd. I mean, I gotta say, my mouth dropped when we went there. And isn't it interesting how we're in this unique position here where the old man, Vince McMahon, is getting buried? I mean, we've seen these subtle digs, not for nothing. This isn't the first time that we've heard a dig at Vince McMahon, but to date, this would have to be the most vicious verbal attack on Vince McMahon without even mentioning his name. Just really tells you as far as, yeah, look, he did this for the business without a doubt, but at the end of the day, he's a disgusting human being. He's a piece of garbage. He is, let's make no mistake about that. I just find it so interesting. How they go about using Vince McMahon when it fits whatever narrative that needs to be met there. Going on to say Cody Rhodes is this was my favorite of the entire night. My mouth really dropped on this one. Talking about the reality is that as far as the microphone goes, John Cena's mic skills, John Cena has more dick in his promo than in his jorts. And for those of you that's like, what is jorts? That's basically jeans, shorts combined, and you just call, short jeans, basically, you just call them jorts, right? It's okay if you don't know some of these hip terms that the kids are using these days. I also made fun of the fact that John Cena is hanging out with Zac Efron, wishes he was 16. Again, yeah, just I mean, he really, really went for the juggler here. But Cena coming right back, basically saying, actually, no, before that, Rhodes goes, yeah, granted, I did leave the WWE, but Cena, let's be honest with you, you didn't even stay to clean up your room before you took off to Hollywood. So, as the two of us are here, right now, let's really ask the question, who here really sold their soul? Who really sold out here to The Rock, right? So you would think that would pretty much be it right there. As Cody, more insult to injury, you're still my hero, but you are a piece of shit. John Cena, at that point, you're looking at John Cena's face. For the longest time during this segment, he was acting as though he was smelling somebody's diaper, right? Somebody needs a diaper change. And I mean, he's just making these funny little faces. But when he finally just had a resting face and he's just going with the flow and everything, I love when Cody got to that part of the promo because, and I have an idea, Cena wasn't even sure what was going to be said here. Probably had an idea of some bullet points, but really not sure where they were going to go. Cena actually cracked a smile here. I think it was really in this moment, Cena's probably saying to himself, the kids got it, right? Because, like, if you really stop and think about this, think of the Cody Rhodes before he left WWE. I'm here to tell you guys there is just no way, no how back then that you take a prime John Cena and go, all right, let's make this program work. John Cena, Cody was not ready. We can all be in agreement. Where we can fantasy book all we want, but when we get down to reality, John Cena would have just destroyed that version of Cody Rhodes. So to see where Cody Rhodes is now hanging bar for bar with one of the best, okay. Oh, chef's kisses is all I have to say right here. John Cena cleverly coming right back and saying, you just like all of these people, your brain is filled with feces. You're like, whoa, we're saying feces now? Like, we already said shit. Now we're saying feces. Like, Jesus Christ, dick. More dick on the promo than your jorts. Like, I mean, we're just going all over I love this. I love this on so many levels here. John Cena coming right back. Look, make no mistake about it. As far as empires go, I make I make empires for billionaires. All you ever done is steal money from their kids. You're going, damn. Love this. The fans, that London, they were right there. They knew exactly, like, bar for bar. Any little Easter egg, they were on it, reacting right on cue. It didn't go over their head. This was a great crowd to be playing in front of here. I love this. I love this on so many levels. Cena gets ready to leave, but Rhodes comes right back, pretty much saying, hey, at least not once in my career has the fans ever said to me that I can't wrestle. John Cena almost kind of acting as if, well, those are fighting words. Looks like we're about to see the two throw it down. Cena pump fakes, getting ready to roll out. Rhodes turns his back. Cena tries to get in and attack. Cody counters, hits him with the crossroads. Heck of a segment. That's pretty much the way that ended. And the way this is looking right now, John Cena, unless something changes otherwise, we're not going to be seeing John Cena again until WrestleMania. Um, I think we touched upon it a couple of weeks ago, but uh, there was a list of dates that you would be able to see Cena on tour leading up to WrestleMania. I'm almost certain that we went over those dates. So unless something has been worked out between he and WWE, this is pretty much it for now. So essentially, Cody is going to have to be the one to carry this for the next couple of weeks. And I really don't think that's going to be a problem whatsoever, because if you haven't been watching SmackDown, I know from this Friday SmackDown, Randy Orton pretty much got in Cody Rhodes' face, put him over and everything, but basically told him when the dust has settled at WrestleMania between Cody and John Cena, he's got dibs. He called his shot. He wants next. And he pretty much told Cody, "Nah, I'm not going to hit you from behind. Not going to kick you in the balls. Nah, I'm just going to take it from you face to face." So he wants that championship that Cody's got. Drew McIntyre begs to differ, and we kind of saw a little bit of back and forth between McIntyre and Orton. So who knows? It could be a triple threat for the championship, or it could actually be Orton and Cody going at it, right? We'll see how everything plays out. I would imagine the earliest something's going to go down, Backlash, or maybe we could be looking at a SummerSlam preview. Have to honestly wait and see once we get past WrestleMania how all of that plays out and everything. So not for nothing, it's not a case where Cody Rhodes is just I'm just a lonely boy going out there and just Cena, Rock, Cena. Like, they are plugging in and playing him, plug and play. They're doing what they can with Cody Rhodes for this next little bit. I mean, for a little bit over 2.5 weeks, that's not really too bad that you have to figure some stuff out with Cody and everything. I would imagine leading up to WrestleMania, we're probably going to see maybe a sit down interview with Cody. I would imagine something is likely pre-taped with Cena. I mean, they should. You got access to the guy. You might as well get some footage and all. You'd be fools not to when it's all said and done. But overall, putting a pretty little ribbon on this opening segment, this was on many levels what we should have gotten out of the gate. And I try to lay out the blueprint for you guys too, because I tried to be very optimistic and saying to you guys, look, because what was the original date that we put out there? I think originally a few weeks back we were like, they've got like 33 weeks to go, or no, 33 days to go until WrestleMania, and I was like, that's about whatever. What was the number? 13, 14 shows basically to tell that story, get to that point. It's like, yeah, you want it to be hot out of the gate, but if you want to do a slow burn, a nice little build up, like, okay, yeah, sure, you can definitely do that. So I thought this was good. Still some holes that you can poke into this bad boy, right? But definitely hit all the points. Both men delivered respectively. Good stuff. Good stuff. Meanwhile, some of the in-ring action, New Day taking on the New Catch Republic. Team is back. Tyler Bate cut his hair. He's pushing short hair now. I mean, he is really looking like a young Russell Crowe now. Really looking like a young Russell Crowe. Happy to see those guys back. New Day is who they took on. New Day picking up the win. Look, fun little tag match. All said and done. Definitely enjoyed it. Fun little tag match. Those guys, New Catch Republic, gel very well together. I didn't see them enough, sadly, but when I did, I thought, okay, yeah, they're a pretty good tag team. What's going on here? I got a notification just now. The hell? New package from FedEx. Hang on. I don't know anything about no package from FedEx. Let's see what's going on here. Oh, snap. It shipped. That is badass. It shipped. Nice. So I got a from Walmart. I totally forgot about this. A couple of months ago, I had pre-ordered a Tony Montana Scarface statue, and apparently it is now shipping. That is nice. I can't wait to show that off to you guys. That's going to be cool. Speaking of unboxing, we're gonna dig into this bad boy later. It's a new camera that I want to show to you guys. Was highly recommended. We'll get into that later. But no, going back to New Catch Republic there, I'm happy to see them back. anything that we can do to add more depth, more layers there to the men's tag team division, especially with a great team like Pete Dunne and Tyler Bate. I am totally all fine for it and everything. New Day making the argument they should, after this, be given the opportunity to challenge for the tag titles. War Raiders came out. Didn't seem like they were backing down. So I would imagine that's going to be a WrestleMania match for sure that we're going to be seeing. Meanwhile, Gunther taking on Jimmy Uso. I got to say, with this one, I was quite surprised and disappointed with how this match was laid out, because it felt like with Jimmy, especially given the past couple of months now, how he's been booked by WWE. Big Jim, when it counts the most, he wins the big matches. He shows up at the big moments to deliver those big home runs, right? Big Jim. Okay. Um, it's just, you're like, wow. And yet this was just so flat. This match was really, really, of all the matches I was looking forward to from this week's Raw, this one I was looking forward to the most because I was expecting a lot of sizzle from this one. Now, I'm not going to say to you guys, I was expecting for Big Jim to win, but I definitely was expecting for Big Jim to really push Gunther to the limit, right? This felt like it wasn't a squash match, but goddamn, it sure was close to it. That's how it came off. That's how it felt and everything. Definitely. I mean, if you were to say one positive thing about this match, you go, well, at least Gunther continues to look like a beast. Okay, sure, whatever. Post match, Gunther beating down Big Jim. This forces Jey Uso to come out, bouncing out the odds and everything. Looks like everything's cool. We take a commercial break, but when we come right back, we see Jay trying to help Jimmy to the back. Gunther attacks the brothers from behind, somehow ends up with a zip tie and puts Jay's wrists on the bottom rope so he can pretty much watch him destroy his brother, which is exactly what happened. Egging him on, telling him to help his brother. Couldn't do anything. Pretty much left Big Jim in a bloody pulp and everything. So, ah, I get where a lot of us were coming from the week before when we heard the announcement. Okay, it's going to be Jim Uso taking on Gunther. All of us collectively going, you know what? This is what's needed to get Jey Uso over that little hump, try to get him to that next level and everything. Like, okay, this is great. Like, nothing but good things can happen with Jim Uso's involvement. Okay. I'm calling him Jim because if he's going to be Big Jim now, then he needs to be called Jim Uso. I think Jimmy is, I don't want to sound Vince McMahon. Jimmy sounds weak. I don't want to, but it's kind of one of those. You don't need to be called Jimmy anymore. It's just Jim. Big Jim or Jim, right? Jim Uso. What else? By the way, that contract signing between CM Punk, Rollins, Reigns, solid stuff. Solid stuff. I can't help but wonder if CM Punk actually knew. Didn't seem like it, did it? Because his eyes, the way they watered up and everything, like he knew he was going to have a WrestleMania match, but you just kind of can't help but wonder if he actually knew that he was going to be involved in closing out night one of WrestleMania, to be continued on that one. Judgment Day taking on Braun Breaker and Penta. Judgment Day picking up the win after capitalizing on some miscommunication there between Penta and Breaker. served its purpose. I mean, this is really from a storyline standpoint because Balor has championship aspirations. Penta already letting it be known what championship he's eyeing for next here and everything. So wouldn't be surprised if ultimately we see a triple threat for the Intercontinental Championship. I kind of feel like that's maybe the direction we're going to be going in. Meanwhile, AJ Styles calling out Logan Paul. Personally, did not care for this segment whatsoever. I actually went to go make a sandwich during this. It's no shade to Logan Paul. He's phenomenal in the ring. No pun intended. No shade on AJ Styles. But when I think of AJ Styles, sitting down listening to a almost 10-minute promo, not exactly AJ Styles' strong suit. So just give me those two guys in the ring and let's watch everything else fly. This one really has been lackluster. Seeing these guys the way they've been trying to dance around each other these past couple of weeks. It definitely feels like it's missing something. What is it that I always like to say? What we're looking for here is emotional context. I just feel like that emotional aspect, it's not really there. Hell, it's not there. I'm just, from an emotional standpoint, I'm not there. But the match itself, I'm definitely going, this could be the dark horse match of the night. I am looking at it from that standpoint. Meanwhile, Raw Women's title match, Io Sky, Rhea Ripley, Bianca Belair, your special guest referee. Y'all already knew how this was going to end, right? Because you're going, most likely triple threat match. Well, yeah, pretty much that's the direction we're going to be going into. So the way this ends, Ripley beating down on Sky in the ropes there. Somehow inadvertently, Rhea hits Bianca in the face. Meanwhile, Sky comes from off the top rope with an accidental drop kick to Belair. Belair ends up calling for a double DQ. Big time angle, pretty much setting up a big time triple threat match. Worked out well. Look, on the one hand, although it was predictable, you can definitely say from the double DQ standpoint, okay, both girls still look relatively strong here. There's no decisive winner, and all three women are still making a claim for, in the case of Rhea Ripley, hey, I should still be champion because it was winner's luck. We've got Bianca, the 2025 Royal Rumble winner. I won my shot. Like, what the hell? Io Sky feeling disrespected. She's feeling like an afterthought, trying to prove herself. So good stuff. Good. The way that everything was laid out here when it was all said and done. So that pretty much was Raw in a nutshell, really. And if you've been with me these past couple of weeks, I've mainly been going one good match, maybe one honorable mention here. This week, just looking at the card, I would say two matches were really good. That would be, oh, my alarm's going off. Sorry, guys. I wonder why I had that alarm. I don't know. Maybe I'm supposed to take some medication or something. I don't know. Out of tonight's Raw, definitely Rhea Ripley, Io Sky, solid match. Given enough time to breathe as well. I like that. You know what? New Day and Catch Republic. That was actually a really good tag match. I got to give it up to them. I enjoyed that tag match much more than Judgment Day, Penta, and Bron Breakker. Don't forget, fam, Rey Fenix makes his debut on SmackDown this Friday. I cannot wait to watch that. They did hype it up on tonight's Raw. They did mention the fact that Rey Fenix is Penta's brother. Mentioned the Lucha Brothers brief little history there, brief little run there, right? They were brief about it, but they acknowledged that connection and all that. So nice little touch there by WWE. So look, another average show at best. You've noticed the trend, right? You're gonna see other people go like marvelous, stupendous, scrumptious, delectable, or whatever. But no, these have been mediocre to average episodes at best with just one good match. And really, well, watch for this segment, right? Nothing more, nothing less. Right down to the point when I look at how you all have been polled these past couple of weeks, a lot of you guys have pretty much mainly been on the slightly above average to average range since these shows have been on tour and everything. So I don't see why that trend wouldn't continue as we are on the road to WrestleMania there. I mean, we only got a couple of more matches left, or sorry, we only have a couple more weeks left, and then it's WrestleMania time. But from the women's side of things, what feels missing the most, and I never thought I'd find myself saying this, but I miss the hell out of Becky Lynch. I miss the hell out of Becky Lynch because the way this is kind of feeling right now, especially with Bianca Belair, it just feels like Bianca Belair has no business being in this title picture, especially with everything that's going on with Naomi right now. Which, by the way, I thought the Naomi video package from SmackDown last week was really good. Naomi essentially going, am I really the villain here? Like, really stop and think about it. And I love the fact that she says to Bianca, who pretty much, was your who was your aspiration? Who gave you inspiration? Who paved the way for you? And this wasn't in a egotistical way. And she pretty much, if you really didn't quite get that promo, what she literally was saying was Bianca Belair used to tell me how much she looked up to me, how aspiring that I was to her when she was nothing more than a fan watching what I was doing in the WWE, right? And that basically since day one, they just clicked and they've pretty much been buddies ever since. And, essentially Naomi going, how soon we forget once Jay Cargill comes into the picture here, and she's pretty much right. So, you got to go out of your way. If you haven't watched the Naomi promo yet, definitely go out of your way and go there. And I love that she continues to be able, whatever emotion she needs to get her through these promos, like she is locked and loaded in. I mean, she is just able to almost cry on cue. When I used to study to be an actor, one of the things that was always hammered in by our instructors was in order to really get lost into a character, and it called for such an emotional scene. We had to somehow connect to it. We had to somehow relay that expression, whatever was going on with that character, that particular moment of the psyche. We had to somehow tap into some inner place and be able to channel that emotion. And I tell you what, especially if a scene had called for crying, Tams will tell you, I used to be able to cry on the spot. I would just go to a place. I would think of, something just so sad, and I would be able to cry. And whatever Naomi is doing, like, and I don't need nobody saying, oh, they're giving her onions. Like, no, because remember some weeks back where we saw her in the ring when the big blow up really went down. I mean, it took a couple of minutes, but eventually we saw her cry in the middle of the ring. You're like, holy, whoa, this is deep. Like, this girl was hurt. Love what Naomi has been doing here. I'm glad that they are giving her some breathing room after all these years, because I loved what she was doing over there in TNA. And I thought it was definitely, when I heard she was coming back to WWE, I thought for sure, well, you know what? Somebody's been watching what she's been doing in the in TNA. Surely this is going to translate very well going into WWE this time around. And a couple of weeks later, flatlined and was pretty much flatlined since. So I love that we're seeing her in this new limelight. But going back to Bianca Belair, yeah, I just feel that Bianca should not even be in this title picture right now. It kind of feels more like this really should have been Becky Lynch for all intents and purposes. And I'm to the point now where I'm most curious how things are going to play out for Bianca at WrestleMania, because this whole Naomi situation, like, okay, Naomi is that hurt. What better way to really put the screws to Bianca than mess up those winning chances at WrestleMania and becoming a women's champion? Why not stick it to her? There's rumblings that maybe Naomi has a little stable. Hey, perfect place to debut. It would be at WrestleMania and everything. I definitely would be down for it. Definitely would be down for it. But that's some of the stuff that we got going on from that standpoint. That promo though between Cena and Rhodes, that was the real meat and potatoes, right? Because you just felt that after you watch what you watched last week, this kind of felt a little flat. You know, they need to redeem themselves. They did that. They did that, and then some. Now, what's going to be interesting going forward is whether or not we're going to see The Rock somehow make an appearance and confront Cody. You know, you had the chance, right? Maybe he will finally reveal, hey, this is what's up, right? Maybe he'll be the one to, right? Maybe for all we know, Cena's like, it's not my place. Let The Rock fill you in. I don't know. Speaking of The Rock, for you WWE Supercard fans, how are you all doing with that WrestleMania little quest there? How are y'all doing with that? Boy, I tell you, I am now up to a little bit over 160,000 points. Because remember, you need to meet 2 conditions to get that Rock limited edition card. You got to get the People's Championship equipment, right? You got to get that championship belt equipment. And then the other stipulation, you've got to get 200,000 points. And by the way, not for nothing, you got to do that in a little bit over 6 days. Your guess is as good as mine if the folks at WWE Supercard are going to do like some of the other equipment cards. And hey, let's give it to the folks for free. You know, I don't know. Your guess is as good as mine. Hopefully they do. But or at least, you know, hey, if X amount of people play this mode, you know, we'll unlock it for everybody. Hopefully they'll do something along those lines like that. But I do think I do echo the sentiments that some of you guys, many of you guys actually have been having, which is it sucks that a lot of these equipment cards that you need to unlock certain rewards is basically locked behind RNG. That sucks. It sucks big time. Whether it's you got to purchase a pack, and if you're lucky, okay, that way, or the other way is once it becomes available on the rarity draft picks board, like maybe you'll be lucky that way. I hate when you got stuff that's like RNG based like that. I was only lucky, I think maybe twice that I was able to get a Raquel Rodriguez equipment and a Lily Dow equipment from free packs that were made available like weeks and weeks back. So happy hunting. Hopefully you guys will be able, because I got to tell you, the Rock card, that is a sweet design. Don't forget, they also got new fusions that's out right now. Yes, they got new fusion joint that's out. So you guys are finally able to give me a second here. You guys are finally able to do some fusions for the new dual rarity level. And as far as who all you can, I'm a little distracted because my daughter is whining. My furry little daughter is whining. Let me see. Hey, honey, come here, little buddy. What you fussing about? What you fussing about? Huh? What you fussing about? Quit all that fussing. Anyway, let me tell you guys about some of the fusions that you can do for the dual rarity here. Keep daddy company. Go hop on the couch there and keep me company. I know one of the fusions you can do is CM Punk. Where is it? Where is it? Here it is. All right, so you can do CM Punk. You can do Finley, Chad Gable, Braun Breaker, Drew McIntyre, Julia, Roxanne Perez. I gotta say, hearing that for you gamers out there, that's pretty good, right? Like that is a really good. You know what? I want to go do a fusion because, like, you cannot go wrong with any of those names that's in there. You know, because sometimes there's been some really bad fusion picks, and you're like, why would I wanna? And I got such crap, y'all aren't offering anything really cool here. Like, what the hell? So shout out to Lawrence via YouTube chat who says the following. Thanks for the content. Long time sub. Well, appreciate you, bud. Thank you. Appreciate you and your loyal support through the years. Definitely means a lot. Most kind of you. Speaking of giving thanks, we got some headlines and all that coming up next, and we're definitely going to do a little unveiling that we got here. Speaking of thanks, I definitely want to take this time out and give a heartfelt thank you to those of you that either reached out to me in DMs or you hit me up in the email. Some of you, besties. I know I heard from some friends, some family members. I know some of you guys had commented publicly online. Thank you for those of you that had wished me congrats. So for those of you that are not aware, as I've said, off and on, not to rub it in anybody's face or come off conceited or anything like that. Just, it's just side talk, just, letting you guys know what's been going on with me and everything. So my associate's degree, it looks like I'll be graduating from community college. I'm on track, definitely going to be doing it this summer. The math class that I'm in right now, it is a headache, but I'm getting the grades that I need. And like it's pretty much going to be a cakewalk after that because I'll just need one more class, one more essential class, and I will be done. I need to fulfill another science requirement. So I've already looked at my options to see what I can get and all that. But anyway, I heard back from one of the 4-year um, PI universities, private institutional, universities, and big name. I hollered at a couple of big names, and basically the inner circle. When you get right down to it, um, I hollered at about 5 institutions. One of them I heard back from, and they were like, "Hey, we want you." They officially gave me an acceptance letter. They sweetened the pot. They were like, "Look, we will give you a $10,000 merit award, which will cover a large part of your tuition for the first year, and we'll divide this up between fall of this year and spring of 2026." I'm like, "Oh, wow, cool." And basically, they're giving me until April 15th to make my decision. Basically, it's a two-parter. I accept by April 15th, and by April 15th, I've got to accept the award that they're willing to offer me and everything. So, and on top of that, there's a third part to that. I got to give them a deposit, basically securing my spot. But in doing so, that's actually gonna deduct from the overall tuition costs. So here's the dilemma that I'm now in. You would think, hey, these guys, it's a no-brainer. But where I really would like to go, I have not heard back from them yet. And it looks like they're not going to start rolling out decisions until late April. So I've been having extensive conversations with the family, and the family is like, overall, when it's said and done, the family's like, look, that deposit, is it refundable? I'm like, no. They're like, oh, all right, well, look, go ahead, secure your spot with them. And then if you hear from, these other guys and they want you, then I mean, it's a no-brainer then, right? I'm like, yeah, it's a no-brainer. I did some research over the weekend because I was curious, okay, how much of my credits will be absorbed by the because I really got it down to two now. I hollered at about 5 institutions total, but I got it down to, all right, these are the two that I really, really am interested in attending. And like I said, the one that I heard from that wants me, like, I looked at all the stuff, the prerequisites, like what's transferable, how much of my credits will be transferable with them. And it is virtually everything that I've been doing so far, right? Like, what applies to that major that I'm interested in, which is journalism, digital storytelling. So it's like, oh, this is great. The other guys I'm looking at, it's like, okay, that's accepted. 1, 2, 3, 4. No, we're not taking these 4. Yeah, we'll take this one. It's like a lot less that's being accepted by the other guys. So it's kind of like, what the? But I'm still kind of on that fence about, even despite that, like, will I go with them? But one thing's for certain, I'm waiting to hear back. So I think what's likely going to be happening is I'm going to put the money down for the guys that want me. And I'm just going to ride it out and see what happens with the other guys. And at least this way, if the other institution doesn't want me, okay, well then I've already been accepted. I told some of my professors what was going on, not to the extent of what I just told you guys. I just pretty much told them, hey, I heard back from blah, 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 blah. They accepted me. They're like, whoa, like that, that's huge. Like, that's a big name. I'm like, yeah. It's not Georgetown University, for those of you that's like, lives in the DC area. Like, it's not Georgetown University. But I can tell you guys. So the one I heard back from, American University is who I heard from. I'm waiting to hear back from the University of Maryland. Go Terps. I don't know how this is gonna play itself out. I really, really don't. I'm quite surprised that American University accepted me, because I thought it was going to be, nah. And my girl was like, no, you're shortchanging yourself. She's like, with what all you've learned over the years, what you know how to do, audio, video editing wise, like, no, they your recommendation letters, these people would be fools to not accept you. I'm like, yeah, I guess. So keep your fingers crossed for your man when it's all said and done. Let's go with what's inside the box now, shall we? Let's see what we got going on here. All right, so I have a really cool project that's gonna be coming up, right? It's for class. I have to do a infomercial. And the infomercial, like, I can do it on anything that I want. Okay. So I have this really cool idea. I'm not going to share with you guys the idea right now, because I would rather you guys, because when you hear it, you're going to be like, that's crazy. And then you're going to be like, damn, Lee, I don't know if you can pull that off. You haven't really seen my comedic side. But so tomorrow's class is going to be fun, because we're literally going to be in our breakout groups in person at class, and we're going to be going over. And the guy that I'm going to be teaming up with, I had the fortunate pleasure of working with him last semester, and we had such loads of fun that when we heard about this infomercial joint, he was the first one to say to the professor, can I work with Lee on this one? Like seriously, I want to work with Lee on this one. And it was like, professor's like, Lee? Like, hell yeah. Like, okay, cool. So what I'm thinking about, it's going to be loads fun. Part of it involves what's in this box. So what's in this box is a spare camera here, and this is a really good deal. I was able to get this for about $74, but I added an extra $6 so I could get a couple of little accessories that can go with it. Because what I was interested in originally was a GoPro, but man, those things, they are expensive. And then if you're not going for the latest model, the GoPro 13, because that seems to be universally like well liked amongst the tech camera community and all that, is that GoPro Hero 13. Seems like 12 on down, there's all kinds of hiccups, either overheating issues, battery doesn't last that long even on a full charge. It's like a whole bunch of stuff that's just going on with some of the previous models. So I was doing some research, and I even utilized AI. I don't know how many of you guys have been utilizing AI, but stuff like Copilot, Chat GPT, pretty good if you're trying to have a conversation with AI and be like, look, here's a situation. What can you recommend? So I was chatting it up with Copilot, and I was like, look, this is the situation. Here's what I need. What can you recommend? And at first it was GoPro, and then it was like, seeing some stuff. No, give me another recommendation. DJI was one, and it was like, that's really not. I was quite taken back by DJI. Now, you techies, you all gotta hit me in the community here. So let me see if I understand this right. So some of these little portable cameras, you can't use it out of the box because you got to go on a website and you got to scan a QR code in order for the thing to work. And then afterwards, you have to download an app. You're like forced to download a companion app for it. Like, that just sounds real. No, you should be able to just out of the box use the damn thing. Fuck a app, all that. Like, you should be able to use it off the break. So DJI wasn't really a fan of that one. So I ended up settling for the Akaso EK 7000 Pro camera. This thing shoots in 4K video, I think at 4K at 30 frames per second. It's got touch screen. You can do your thing with photos as well. All that. So here's what we're looking at here. Okay, it's a pretty big box. What we got? Let me zoom in a little bit more so you guys can kind of see. And I'm actually going to take the camera out for you guys so you guys can get a really good look at it and everything. And I was able to get this. I ordered this late last night, and I got it just a couple of hours ago. I'm playing back what you guys are seeing, and it's mostly glossy, but it looks like for the most part you guys get a little bit of an idea what you're looking at. But I'm still gonna just at least open it up and just show you how the camera is looking. And this is great for I think this is a great, because I even saw videos. I saw some YouTube videos online for this device. And so I think, and I would definitely recommend, as somebody that plays around with a lot of tech stuff, especially when it comes to my cameras and all that, because I stay shooting footage. For those of you that might be either on a tight budget or you're looking for something that's introductory, as far as getting into the world of devices like the GoPro and all that, this is a really good, solid alternative. And I wish I could remember the guy's name on YouTube, but there was a gentleman that did a nice side-by-side comparison. He was walking in the neighborhood. He had a God, what is the word I'm looking for? Not a motorcycle, not a mini motorcycle, but he was operating a car battery. Oh God, I'm trying to a race car. That's what it was. He was pushing a little portable race car, and he put this camera on it, And then once he was done filming that, he then went with the GoPro and he was showing you the difference of how it was at 1080p. Then he bumped it to 4K. And then he drastically slowed it down and was pausing frame for frame so you guys could see exactly what was going on. And it was a great comparison. He did a really good job. Okay, this gives you guys a little bit of a better look. Check that out. And the best part I like about this is if you're already pushing the Epzoid tripod mount that can go up to about 62 inches in height, that comes with a remote shutter. If you're already pushing a tripod like that, this will definitely mount on it without any issues whatsoever. So, and in the box, there's a whole bunch of goodies that's in here. I won't bore you guys with that, but basically, you get a whole bunch of bonus accessories, cover, things of that nature. So, check it out if you guys are looking for something, or maybe you know somebody that man, they all, they've been talking about the GoPro, but the GoPro, you'd be waiting forever for a special price. And then, I don't know, Cyber Tuesday or whatever it is comes around, like, boom, it's already gone. So if you're looking for another cool alternative, like, you could definitely check that out. And I'll keep you guys posted because I am definitely going to be posting more and more content utilizing this. So I'll definitely keep you guys posted. Let's dive into a little bit of headlines here. One thing I want to touch upon from last week. Remember, we were right here. We were remembering George Foreman. And one of the things that we talked about was the Hulkster. And we talked about the origins of the George Foreman grill. And we talked about that at great length, remember? We also talked about how Hulk Hogan said in interviews over the years that he was pretty close to being the face behind the Foreman grill. Just imagine what it would have been called, right? Maybe it would have been the Hulkamania grill or the Hulk Hogan grill. Who knows, right? But yeah, I remember mentioning to you, hey, there was a couple of names, other people had pretty much, vouched for Hogan that. And so you're going, well, there's no way then that this could be a fake story, right? So, as many of you guys remember, what is fact, back in the day, Hulk Hogan had landed a deal with a blender called the Hulk Hogan Thunder Mixer. Pablo Torre ended up in major shout out to him because on his Pablo Torre Finds Out piece, he got the real story behind Hulk Hogan's claim about that George Foreman grill. Brother, I was close. I missed the phone call, brother. So here is what Pablo Torre had to say in his research. We went to the grill's inventor, Michael Boham, and his family issued a statement to us. They dispute the Hulkster's cataloging of events. George Foreman was the only celebrity our dad approached about endorsing the grill. We don't know who started the story about Hulk Hogan being approached, but it is not accurate. The agent Hulk Hogan cited was a guy named Sam. He repped Hulk Hogan and George Foreman. Unfortunately, Sam passed away last fall, but they shared a lawyer. The lawyer is a guy named Henry Holmes, and he told us the Hulk Hogan story is not my recollection. In fact, it was two other celebrities sharing representation that their agent was asking about. This is what Pablo Torre was relayed. And Holmes went on to say that Pamela Anderson and Chuck Norris were considered before George Foreman was approached. Very important context here. Very important context here. So following up from what we talked about last week, see, it was okay if you were in the camp of, well, no, we heard this over the years, and the fact that Hogan started naming people, like, okay, well, surely, why would this guy lie? Why would he even try to, like, it makes no, and we find out that in fact that was a lie. God. Flavored seltzer water. I love it. Just goes to show you, you cannot trust a motherfucking thing that the Hulkster says. I mean, seriously, you cannot trust anything that this guy says. Wait, it gets worse. It gets worse, fam. So I am aware of all of the drama that's been going on with Brooke Hogan, Linda Hogan, Brooke Hogan's husband. Congratulations to them, by the way, on the birth of their child. It's not twins, is it? It's just one. It's just one kid, right? I try not to pry unless it's publicly known or whatever. But to be welcoming a bundle of joy into the world and everything, I just hear all these positive things that's going on with Brooke Hogan and her husband, and I just go, you know what? And my old saying, my friends and family that know me, I say this constantly. If it's not about positivity, I don't want anything to do with it. Now, it's one thing if you're trying to offer somebody constructive criticism, like I'm totally down with that. But like, that's my way of saying challenge yourself to be surrounded by people that are about something, that got a lot of positive things going on. And it's not about you latching on and leeching off of them. It's basically you being put in a position, putting yourself into a position where you can feel inspired, you can feel motivated, and okay, yeah, I definitely got to step my game up. I definitely got to do like these people are doing here, and these are the type of people I want to have in my inner circle because yeah, they're about something. They're trying to get to some place, in their life, and look at how they're trying to be successful, or they already are successful. Like that's what I'm trying to do, and success doesn't always mean money. It could just be, wow, look at the great shape that this person is in. Like, man, that's what I'm trying to strive for. Or man, this person ain't got no drama going on, their health is good, like that's where I need to be. Or find what makes you happy, right? So to see that Brooke Hogan and her husband are in that direction is just that's great. But to see Linda Hogan put out this thing, and we're about to play it for you guys, but she puts out this sobbing video, about the fact that her daughter hasn't spoken to her in almost 10 years, and Hulk Hogan, he basically, single-handedly destroyed the family, sleeping around, the lying, cheating, just blah 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 blah, all this other stuff, right? And I don't mean blah 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 blah, like shut up, but just in a nutshell, that's what's going on with Linda Hogan. So the Hulkster, who is supposed to be the newest member of the Scientology group, thanks to his new wife, there's this video that is posted where he's showing himself and his wife reacting to the drama involving his ex-wife and daughter and everything. So I want to pause this here. Let's blow this up. What it entailed and what. Let's blow this up here for you guys. Okay, so we got that ready to go. I'm going to screen share so you guys can see this for those of you that have not. And we posted this on the Facebook page. Share screen. Yeah. Don't show these again. We'll allow for a month. Yep. And share. Oh, that is beautiful. I like how that shows up. All right. So I'm like literally off the screen right now. That's or am I? No, I'm not off the screen, but I do need to change my media assets here. So let's hide that. Hey guys. All right. So let's play this for you guys. Runs about a minute 17.
I don't know how that reflected onto me, but she cut me out too. I haven't talked to her for 7 years, almost 8 years now. And God bless Nick. He's still such a good boy. I've never put a Facebook post out like this with my ugly face and my crying face, but I have to be honest about what I went through in my marriage with Terry as Hulk Hogan and what it entailed and what it has caused over the years and everything else. He's a complete liar. He is a sex addict. Your face out there and know that all these horrible things are going on behind the scenes. Yet he marches on. He marches on like, yeah, oh, I'm promoting my own beer, real American beer. Yeah, look at me. Woo! Yeah, he's such a hero, right? Not. Okay, I'm going to give him my thumbs down. I've given him more opportunities to come back and make us a family and try to I'm sorry, it's so sad. I don't know how.
That's all I gotta say. Lord have mercy. Lord have mercy. I still remember, by the way. How did we bring me back? Hi. I still remember when Linda McMahon came. I said Linda McMahon. I apologize. Linda Hogan. I still remember when she had released a book. It was right around that time where she was capitalizing on Hulk Hogan. This was like right either during the divorce or shortly after she divorced Hogan. I remember she released this tell-all book and everything. And I gotta pick Mish's brain, Mish from Wrestling Soup. Shout out to him because I believe he ended up reading the book, and he's usually pretty level-headed, very neutral in a lot of the stuff that he reads from wrestlers, wrestlers' families and all that. But if I remember right, he was going, "What a crock of bullshit," from when he read the book and everything. It was kind of one of those, be careful with what you're reading because, there's some stuff in there that you're just kind of going, I'm not really sure about that one. But she has been revealed to be a exaggerator, outright liar through the years. So, you can't help but wonder if a lot of this stuff that she's putting out there is greatly exaggerated, right? It's all about the attention and all that. And let's not forget, this is the same Linda Hogan. She wants to talk about how, oh, he did this, he did that, he did this, he did that. But she ended up getting with, I don't know which kid it was. I don't know if it was Brooke or if it was Nick, but I think it was Nick. She ended up getting with one of her son's friends who was like 18 or 19. And my God, I believe she was in her late 40s or whatever around then. Ew, or maybe even close to 50. Ew. Nasty, right? I mean, they even got engaged and they're like, we're just going down memory lane here, but let's assume for a second that in that video you just watched or just heard, Linda is telling some part of the truth. I don't exactly know if airing out your dirty laundry on social media is the best course of action to take. Like, if you really mean well and you're trying to, heal your family. You're trying to get back to good. You're trying to repair, what's already been a very fractured relationship. You're trying to do your best to, repair it. Going to social media and airing out dirty laundry, gee, I don't know. That's probably like not an option. Probably something you shouldn't be embarking on. So why are we really doing this? Are we doing this for clout? Are we doing this for, some type of attention? What's the real deal here? Why are we, are you mentally in a place where you're starting to feel unstable, and this is maybe a last ditch effort to, like, what's really going on here? Now that's for you guys to decide. I just, when I see stuff like this, that's how I lay it out. I just know, with me personally, I'm old school. If I have an issue with somebody, I'm not going to bury them on social media. I'm not going to do a live stream. I'm not going to, I'm not going to, especially if it's a case where they haven't done anything to me. But above all else, even if they have done something to me, I'm not going to use those type of tactics. I'm going to do my best to handle the situation behind the scenes. And if push comes to shove, if I feel I need to get law enforcement involved or whatever, then so be it. If I got to maybe contact legal, okay, so be it. But I'm not going to be airing, especially if I'm trying to repair a relationship. I'm not going to do what she did. So either she's mentally unstable, she's like on her last set of ropes, and there's going to be a tragedy at the end of this, or she's doing this for attention. Now, some could even say maybe she's trying to do both. That's for y'all to decide. You know how I like to roll here. I like to just look at it from all different angles, and how you walk away. I just want you guys to widen your perspective, right? Now, what we can do, though, we can talk about the Hulkster. For him and his new wife to put out this video, them eating the popcorn and, looking stupid at each other, and like, I don't I don't think that was cool. If there was ever a time to just keep your head lowered, keep on trucking, do you? This was the time and place to do it. You don't have to put up a video mocking, and, if anything, get a statement out there through your lawyers. Have the lawyer read a family statement. Hey, we wish Linda Belair, or whatever the hell name she wants to go with, and we wish her nothing but the very best. We're very sorry that she's going through what she's going through right now. But, as far as Terry Belair goes, hey, she took him to court. She got XYZ of his money and future assets up to, the year, blah, 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 blah. Terry has owned up to his mistakes, blah, 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 blah. Like, how many more years of restitution does he need to pay back to this woman? Like, he has obviously moved on with his life, and, he continues to try to be a bigger, better person each day. Like, whatever you need to do to spin this shit. Look, I don't like the man. I'm just telling you how it is. But to be doing a video mocking, your ex, it just comes off very immature. This guy is like, he should be in his 70s by now, if he's not already there. It creeped me out when I was watching this, and it made me just feel so disappointed the way that they were mocking this woman. Now, you would have thought that his new wife, again, they're very big into Scientology. Remember, Scientology, um, it's all about the handling of the spirit in relationship to itself, others, and all of life. So, looking at Scientology here, the Church of Scientology believes that man is basically good and that he is seeking to survive, and that his survival depends on himself and his attainment of brotherhood with the universe. So, I'm quite sure that, as far as Scientology beliefs on being kind to people goes, I'm sure if we were to do a simple Bing or Google search, we find the following, which is Scientologists believe that being kind to people is essential for spiritual growth and self improvement. With regards to spiritual growth, Scientologists believe that being kind to people is essential for spiritual growth and self improvement. Understanding others, Scientologists believe that understanding others is crucial for spiritual growth. Empathy and compassion. Scientologists believe that empathy and compassion are fundamental to being kind to people. Self improvement. Scientologists believe that being kind to people is a way to self improve oneself and contribute to the well being of others. Scientologists believe that being kind to people is essential for spiritual growth and self improvement. I mean, we go on and on and on and on and on till the break of dawn about this, but you shouldn't have to have Scientology to tell you this. I mean, you should just, as I've been saying for years, treat others the way you want to be treated. I would think with respect, even if it's a case where somebody goes low, always do your part to take the high road. This was another test that Terry Bollea, the Hulkster, miserably failed at yet again. I don't like either side, but I'm definitely going to take a major shit more on the Hawkster side, because when he gets these tests, he just keeps failing them time and time and time and time again, straight up. Meanwhile, Sting has announced more dates pretty much for his Now or Never tour. Remember, after 2025, that's it. You will never see Sting wear the makeup again. He's added some more dates. Check this out. Coming up April 5th out in Michigan, he's going to be at Astronomicon. Then on April 6th, Greenville, South Carolina Comic Con. April 19th, WrestleCon in Las Vegas, Nevada. Actually, that'll be on the 19th and 20th. April 27th, Huntsville Expo in Huntsville, Alabama. May 3rd, Heart of Texas Comic Con, Waco, Texas. May 4th, Pandora's Box out in New Jersey. May 24th, Galaxy Con in Oklahoma City. May 31st, Arizona Collectors Expo in Phoenix, Arizona. June 28th, Wrestleverse Fest in Missouri. July 25th, Big Time Wrestling, Charlotte, North Carolina. August 2nd, Wrestletown in East Rutherford, New Jersey. April 9th, Madison Comic Expo in Madison, Wisconsin. August 15th, Monster Mania Con in Cherry Hill, New Jersey. August 30th, Wrestleverse Fest, Chattanooga, Tennessee. September 13th, Horror Hound Weekend in Cincinnati, Ohio. September 20th, Houston Celebrity Comic Con in Houston, Texas. October 4th, Spookala in Tampa, Florida. October 11th, Comic Con Scotland in Scotland. November 8th, Twin Cities Con in Minneapolis, Minnesota. November 9th, Rhode Island Comic Con in Providence, Rhode Island. And finally, December 20th, Wrestleverse Fest, Pittsburgh, PA. Be the final time that you'll be able to see Sting in the face paint. So take advantage. Sting still has very reasonable prices all these years later. I had the fortunate pleasure of seeing him through the good folks at Awesome Con, and his lines went very smooth, very smooth. He was, I'll never forget that weekend too, because he was sitting not too far. Matter of fact, I believe he was sitting right across when it came to his autograph line. If I remember correctly, he was sitting across from Lou Ferrigno. It's kind of interesting how because I mean, man, they had some serious space. I just felt like Lou Ferrigno was just all alone on an island where he was at and everything. Poor Lou Ferrigno, he had like no one in his line. And I remember overhearing him talking to somebody. I don't know if it was his agent, but he was very disappointed with how the turnout was. And far as I can recall, Lou Ferrigno has not been to Awesome Con since. But I remember the prices for Sting was very reasonable. If I remember right, and Tams has a better memory than I do, but I believe it was $80 an autograph, $80 photo op, $160 combo. So hopefully the prices are still right around that range, maybe a little less. But great time. If you got the money and any of those dates, any of those locations sound, trust me when I say your money will be well spent. You will have a fantastic time meeting him. He takes his time. He's very personal. Really gives you that cool experience. Doesn't mind listening to a story and all of that. I mean, he really, really, I've seen so many just next, next. Hey, thanks for coming. Next, but he really, really takes his time. I had him. You can't see it in the background, but I did the combo. So there's a photo of me and him that hangs proudly on the wall, and you can see it off to the cut here. You see, there's a WWE title in its bag. That's the big gold belt. Had Sting sign that bad boy. So yeah, definitely check him out if you get the opportunity. I always tell people, as far as like, if you're just starting off doing the meet and greets with wrestlers, or it's a situation where you're trying to figure out where to start, going with somebody like a Sting or a Mick Foley, you're good. Or even Bret Hart, like one of those, you're good. Speaking of legends, congratulations are in order to the family of the late Kamala. Not sure if you all had heard about this. I'm not talking about Kamala. I'm not talking about the woman that lost the election there. I'm not talking about her. I'm talking about the pro wrestling legend Kamala. Shout out to his family. They were able to reach a deal with WWE where it looks like posthumously Kamala Legends deal. Family was able to get a Legends deal for Kamala. So very, very soon we're going to be seeing his name and likeliness used. Can't wait to see what happens as far as merchandise goes and everything. Apparently, this is something that the family has been working on for a long time. The way they made it seem, they've been working on this for a couple of years or whatnot. And that's really, really good to hear, all things considered. Because I mean, I remember when we were on the air while Kamala was still alive, and that whole Dawn Marie fiasco shit had went down. I'll never forget that. I mean, that's how long we've been on the air. For newer listeners, Dawn Marie of ECW fame and all that, back in the day, she had this this organization, if you will, where they would try to help down and out families. You know, they would like secure funds to help people, you know, things of that nature. And if I remember correctly, Don Marie had heard about Kamala's situation. I don't know if he already at that point had a leg amputated, because I know some years afterwards both legs were amputated and it was like, holy shit. I'm not sure what was going on back then. Definitely he wasn't a double amputee. I want to say he was about to lose a leg though. You know, this is really pulling cobwebs, so you guys got to forgive me if my memory is a little spotty or whatnot. But Don Marie ended up um, trying to raise money for Kamala. She was successfully able to raise money. And basically, you know, everybody in the wrestling community, you know, giving themselves high fives, patting each other on the backs, high fiving each other, you know, hey, we all were able to come together. We were able to help out this legend, you know, hey, this is great. You know, it's like, okay, the end, right? Because, you know, you heard basically how when it came to WWE royalties, like Kamala was making pennies, you know, while guys like the Hulksters and like all these other legends, like they're getting mad revenue, like he ain't getting shit. You know, it was quite sad. I remember his sons had basically or somebody in the family, they had helped put this little video package together, and they were basically showing you because they uploaded it like on YouTube and some other places. They were showing you how life had been for Kamala. And if I remember at that point, yeah, I'm kind of thinking about it more and more. He was having some serious health issues, right down to the point. I think he was a driver. I think he was a truck driver or something, and he wasn't able to even do that anymore to try to provide for himself and his family. And you know, like the health problems, it just really took its toll on him. So anyway, you would think after the money was raised, that's the end of the story. No, because like several weeks afterwards, Kamala, you know, put out this video or whatever, and he's like, Don Marie might have said she was gonna, you know, raise X amount of money, and that they had raised this amount, and they were gonna present this check to me, but Don Marie ain't give me jack. And I was like, whoa, what? Say what? And Kamala, you know, through his family, they were able to back up, you know, nah, like, look, you know, here's you know, my account, here's the deposit, here's the transactions. Like, Don Marie ain't give me nothing. And I just remember Don Marie, her name got dragged in the mud big time because she got caught in a lie. She got caught in a lie. And you had a lot of people that had did extensive research and connecting the dots, you know, trying to follow the trail, you know, like what's really going on here. I know one of the people that had did it that I was aware of first, you know, that was really trying to put all the pieces together. There's this show called Wacko in the Morning. I don't even know, you know, what happened with the host, Wacko, but he would talk wrestling and sports, whole bunch of other stuff. That was actually how I ended up befriending Mish, because I heard him come on there. And I want to say Missy Hyatt was also on that same episode. And they were just going through, you know, all the data that they were able to collect, you know, all the statements, like bank statements, statements from whatever parties. They were able to have like everything. And if I also remember correctly, I think they had Dawn Marie come on to the show to basically try to get her side of the story on. Okay, so what's the real 411 here? Like what's really going on? I think it was either they tried to get Dawn Marie or they managed to get Kamala. I feel as though they managed to get Kamala, and then like when they were trying to get Dawn Marie so that basically the two could hammer things out on air, somebody was like, "Ugh," I kind of feel like maybe it was Don Marie. I'm not really sure, but I do remember Wacko trying to get like both parties together and all that. It was ugly. It was very, very ugly what was going on way back in the day. And then Kamala had some unflattering things to say about WWE. We don't need to do a whole timeline on that. But he had some unsavory things to say about WWE back in the day and all that. So to see where everything is now, I know right now a lot of the people are going, oh, Kamala might be one step closer to the WWE Hall of Fame. Yeah, that very well could be the case. Very well could be the case. By the way, if you go on WWE's site right now, you'll see that Kamala has been added to the website. You'll see that he's been added to the website. But why do I feel as though Kamala might have been involved in a couple of those lawsuits from back in the day with Constantine Kronos, whatever that guy's name is. He's always around doing fucking lawsuits. Oh, you hurt your hey, you need to do this lawsuit. What do you say there, buddy boy? I'm actually looking right now, trying to see if he was involved. Yeah, it reminds me, there was that biography that he released as well back in 2015, where one of his wrestling managers, Kenny Casanova, yeah, they had put that book together large part so that they could offset his medical costs because he had cured so much back then. It was a self-published autobiography that told his life story, health career. Definitely by then he lost both legs. I remember that for a fact. Basically, and for those of you that's like, what was going on? Complications of high blood pressure and diabetes, which was something that he had as far back as the early 90s and everything. And yes, he was even involved. Now that I'm thinking about it, he was involved in a lawsuit against WWE. So it's interesting how Triple H and his guys at play, how they're able to just smooth these fences, right? Men fences with the families. You gotta give props to Triple H and them. Like he and his team, they just have a right way. And because you've seen it now with Bruno Sammartino. We saw it with the Ultimate Warrior. We saw things get smoothed out eventually with Bill Goldberg, right down to the point Bill Goldberg, he's now on cloud nine because yeah, he's in training as we speak. He put out a photograph a couple of days ago, letting it be known that he's already begun his in-ring training. So maybe we'll see him do something either coming up Backlash, or maybe we'll see him do something at SummerSlam. But I hope that before he dies, I hope that Pedro Morales, I just want to know, like, definitively, like, what the fuck, because man, if there was ever a time to appreciate true legends of yesteryear, you think about Pedro Morales and his contributions to the business and the fact that, like, there's hardly a whiff of that guy mentioned. It's like, man, whose daughter did he sleep around with in the company to, kind of feels like a blacklist type of thing, blackballed type of thing or whatnot. So, while I love telling those type of stories, and I hope you enjoyed that about Kamala and Dawn Marie. There's another one that's floating around there. Maven Huffman, him confronting Justin Credible over the fact that Justin Credible is basically taking people's money, promising them their autographs, their t-shirts or whatever, and basically is pocketing the money. That is just so despicable. Now, the way Maven went about this, it was almost like some Chris Hansen type of stuff. I loved it on so many levels and everything. And he confronted this guy, and Justin is going, "Oh, you got it all wrong. It's not like that whatsoever. Yeah, I'm not doing this on purpose. All I'm trying to do is take care of my wife. I'm just trying to take care of my family. We got to eat and everything, and there's no malice behind what I'm doing. I'm not doing it on purpose. It's my intent, but the expenses, it catches up. So you can almost make an argument that what Justin Incredible is doing is almost a Ponzi scheme, Raw Peter to pay Paul, if you will. That is a very, very dangerous path to go down. And I liked how the video ends because Maven reveals that basically a couple of weeks after he confronted Just Incredible, according to Maven's respective sources, nothing has changed. Right down to the point, this guy took money from some promotions on the indies that he was supposed to appear at, and no call, no show. And you're like, well, so wait a minute here. You're talking about how you're just trying to take care of yourself, feed your family, you're just trying to provide. Okay, so you have these opportunities to provide and you squander them. Like, which is it? Like, seriously, which is it? So it's sad to hear, what's going on with that guy. Very, very sad. Elsewhere, I love the fact that The Rock did this, but there was a video that was put out by some cat on Instagram where this dude claimed that The Rock hated CM Punk and that Punk would not main event WrestleMania as long as The Rock was involved. Well, The Rock got a whiff of this. He smelled what this fan was cooking. And he set him straight, letting him know that Punk and The Rock have been friends, good buddies over the years, that they are solid, and that whatever matchmaking scenario is best for true long-term, not short-term business success, that will be their Mania main event. And lastly, calling the guy a clown. Prime example of, you think, just when you think you know everything, like, you don't. I would rather ask the question than assume, because, man, the last thing you need, and I love the fact that we've got social media the way it is right now, because more and more of your favorite celebrities, artists are utilizing the hell out of social media, and they are interacting with their fan base, and they are checkmating. They've got no problem checkmating people that are putting out false information. Look, a lot of people aren't going to be thinking this way, but it's funny because I was asked the essay question going back to what we were talking about earlier with the universities. I don't know which one. I actually, you know what? Now that I'm thinking about it, I think it was American University. They asked me an essay question. This was tied to my major, basically. And they wanted to pick my brain on, in this day and age of misinformation, especially with everything that's going on with social media, the accessibility and all of that, like, what can we do to ensure that we're not spreading misinformation, you know? And, one of those things is you definitely got to check your sources, check your sources, check your sources. So, for this fan, a simple Bing, Google search, it definitely would have revealed that, okay, there's nothing definitively here that would suggest, you're just kind of looking at it from like a optic standpoint, but to the point of what The Rock had said, I remember when The Rock, I remember when CM Punk had did that All-Star weekend, that basically the AEW event. It was like an All-Star weekend joint. Starcast. He did the Starcast weekend event. And Mike Johnson interviewed him or whatever. Tell me if I'm remembering this wrong. But didn't at one point CM Punk had said he's got The Rock on speed dial. He can call The Rock and then he proceeded to call The Rock, and I think it went right to voicemail or some shit like that, and because that would have been like a real. They've been fucking with each other, if I'm not mistaken, since way back then. So for this fan to assume the absolute worst, you're just going, come on, man. And then let's just say that didn't happen. Let's just say that didn't happen, or somehow that information just ceased to exist somehow, right? It's not true. We made it up. Whatever. Okay, let's go that route. Unless you can back it up with facts, you really don't want to be jumping out there like that, especially when you can easily get checkmate by some of these people. It just goes to show you just never know when your shit is being read and by who. That doesn't mean you got to step on eggshells, but you definitely need to be mindful about what you say and when you say it, because unfortunately, heaven forbid, you're on the wrong side of history with what you put out there on social media. That is going to be your calling card pretty much for all eternity. Even after you delete it, it is still going to be registered in the Wayback Machine, all that stuff. Carmella is now switching up her tone. I guess Corey Graves had a conversation with her as she did an interview with the New York Post. You can find this on the New York Post's YouTube channel there, where she was asked about possibly working for another promotion should she return to wrestling. And she said, it was a very short interview. Like, really, you don't need to watch it if you don't want to. It's like 10 minutes. But she said, I'm not a never say never person. To me, I do feel such loyalty to WWE. I loved my time working there. If I ever went back, I would hope it would be for WWE. I would want to go back as Carmella and moonwalk my way out there and be in a WWE ring. I do feel like that would be my home, but I'm not going to say never. Who knows what the future holds? Carmella said she is still on the path to working her way back to a potential in-ring return and believes ultimately it will happen. So we'll see how that plays out, folks. But I just find it interesting. The tone here is now changing quite drastically compared to that interview she did with that hack of a host. Yeah, I hope she enjoyed her 15 minutes of, because I doubt we're ever going to hear from her again. WWE and the Clash of Clans, they have hooked up, sparking a lot of fan excitement as WWE announced this partnership with the mobile game Clash of Clans that sees WWE superstars being incorporated into that game's universe. We've got Cody Rhodes, The Undertaker, Rhea Ripley, Bianca Belair. They're going to be featured characters. And I like the video that's running around because they basically got Cody Rhodes embracing his dark side. The Rock didn't turn Cody evil. This video game, Clash of Clans, has turned Cody Rhodes evil. Some hilarious stuff. The collaboration includes an in-game event that begins April 1st and continues on to WrestleMania 41, where Clash of Clans will sponsor a match. So some pretty cool stuff that's going on there. Look, I've never played Clash of Clans. I've looked at a couple of screenshots for this game, and I know that like over 2.6 million people have played this game. Do I see myself playing this game? No. Will I be missing out on some, well, I'll just be missing out. If it's not super card, um, 'cause nowadays I'm in a tablet mode or a phone mode. I'm into, let me just play something real quick, stimulate my brain, and I'm ready to rock and roll. It's really hard for me to sit down and at great length play a game console, right? Even though I've got the Xbox Series X. And it's so funny because my girl told me before I got this new desk that I've got, she goes, originally you were going to get a PS5, but I thought about how you really don't play the Xbox. I said, nah, that would be a waste. Because she wanted to get me the PS5 because I kept asking about it. And I wanted to play that Spider-Man game, the Miles Morales joint and everything. But, it was kind of one of those, seriously, why? And then especially when I said, man, I'm looking at the PS5 catalog and there's really not really. So that kind of sealed it for me. But when I'm glad she instead went with something that was a real investment, something that I would be using on a daily basis, or definitely at least at minimum a semi-regular basis, as opposed to you're probably only going to turn that on once a month. And it's a shame. It's a travesty what's going on with my Xbox Series X, because it's like collecting dust and it's rarely played. Now, some of you may go, well, does that mean maybe you'll sell it? Nah. I just need that free moment, where, okay, I can breathe a little bit. And maybe I'll turn it on and do a little something. I think I got to get past all these classes first, then maybe I'll do a little something. How about the stuff that's going on with 50 Cent and Little Meech? You see that beef that's going on? Really makes you wonder what's going to happen with the future of BMF, the television series there on Stars. I was talking with a friend about this, and in a nutshell, 50 Cent, he revealed that in regards to Little Meech has been showing up to the set of BMF on drugs. And 50's like, look, we can't have you doing this. You got to get cleaned up. He has paid the bill a couple of times there for Meech rehab and everything. He's also said to him, look, you're blowing up your money way too fast. Like, you need to slow that shit down. What are you doing, dog? Like, you got to make smart investments. You got to. And ever since Big Meech got out of prison, the bond has been tighter than ever between father and son, that a lot of fans are now going, man, what is going to happen with BMF going forward? Because if Little Meech leaves the show, it's like, whoa, like, where the hell do we go from here? I think, honestly, if Little Meech rolls out, I mean, look, not for nothing, but since the series began, we've constantly been introduced to the older actors that play Big Meech and I can't think of the brother's name right now, but we've pretty much been introduced to the older version since the very first episode. We could honestly fast forward and just stay with those versions right before they get arrested, right? We could go that route. If I were to make a bold prediction, though, fam, I'm gonna say with the way things are looking right now, if this beef continues on and intensifies even more, I've got 50 Cent basically going, let's pull the plug. Understand the role of the executive producer. The executive producer is the one that is ultimately responsible for making sure that motherfuckers get paid, not just the talents, but okay, what sponsors are we going to get to, try to help facilitate, all right, got to make sure we take care of them as well. They're also in charge of paying the production crew, like everybody involved, not just talents, but the production crew. They're the ones that, for the executive producer, they're the ones that ultimately have to sit down and, try to, okay, this is how much money we're going to need in order to finance, this episode. Okay, we're doing 10 episodes or we're doing 20 episodes. Okay, well, this is the budget that, that we're going to need for it and all of that. And so the executive producer, it's critical. It's critical. And the fact that when the series was developed, it pretty much was developed, if I'm not mistaken, through 50 Cent's production company. Yeah, I think one more season. So we know it's coming back this June, but I think beyond that, I think they're going to come back one more season, and 50's just going to wash his hands clean of the whole, uh, you know, little Meech, big Meech situation, and that's going to be the end of that. So, you know, remember what I said. We'll see how it plays out. For fans of the potential Coyote versus Acme, it was amazing how many people were in an uproar about this. I remember seeing this, and I'm like, well, you know, if they can save this, I hope you guys are going to represent with your money, because Jesus. Well, in a new update, Coyote versus Acme has been officially saved by an entertainment company called Catch Up Entertainment, after Warner Brothers axed the release in 2023. Gareth West, who is the CEO of Catch Up Entertainment, said, and I quote, "We're thrilled to have made a deal with Warner Brothers Pictures to bring this film to audiences worldwide." My furry daughter is licking my foot. She literally just she's laying on her belly, and she is just going to town on my foot. That's her way of giving me kisses. Coyote versus Acme is a perfect blend of nostalgia and modern storytelling, capturing the essence of the beloved Looney Tunes characters while introducing them to a new generation. We believe it will resonate with both longtime fans and newcomers alike. I can't wait to see it. I mean, I think the concept is very original. Okay, you know, while Wile Coyote, you know, he's had it. You know, every time he's tried to catch the Roadrunner, the goddamn Acme products always backfires. Okay, why not sue? It's a genius plot. I love it. So I definitely am gonna check it out. There's because I have a Max subscription. There's a newer Looney Tunes show that came out several years back. I know they had the Elmer Fudd grilled cheese, if you please. I finally started watching episodes of that, and I thought, wow, this is pretty decent. There's something else that I had saw kind of Looney Tunes related. I'm not sure. It's escaping me right now. But if the whole point that I'm making, if Coyote versus Acme kind of follows up in that kind of sense of that Looney Tunes series that I'm talking about, that new updated version, I think it should do pretty well. I mean, we're in a time where now more than ever, moviegoers are saying we're tired of the remakes. Stop doing remakes. If anything, give us new stuff. And this is fresh. You know, it's a fresh concept. Go there. So cast sounds pretty good too. The fact that John Cena's involved in this, Will Forte. I don't have the whole list in front of me. I'm like remembering off the top of my head here, but when I was hearing some of the cast members for this, I'm going, wow. And this got shelved. What the hell? And let me tell you something. I hope and I would encourage all movie goers to check this out, because if this does good for the amount of money or whatever the budget is, if it breaks even and makes a substantial profit, that will be good. You know why? There's a movie that I know a lot of you guys would like to see and judge for yourselves, which is the shelved Batwoman movie. I know a lot of you guys would love to see that. I would too. Maybe that could, you know, somehow James Gunn puts that out there as and basically says, look, you know, this is not this doesn't have anything to do with my current vision of, you know, put that asterisk by it. But if they were willing to somehow sell that to, it's highly unlikely, but it would definitely maybe make them think, you know, well maybe this could somehow, it's highly unlikely, but you want to definitely assuming that Coyote versus Acme is going to be pretty good, and I think it will. I think it will be pretty good. But you definitely, if it ends up being good, you want it to succeed, because that will definitely make Warner Brothers maybe look at some other projects and go, you know what? All right, we were proven wrong. All right, well, let's look at some of this other stuff that we had shelved, or let's take a look at this. Let's take a look at that. So other than that, let's give you guys a preview of what's going to be coming up for AEW Dynamite here. By the way, I think it's pretty messed up while I'm thinking about Dynamite and all that. Pretty messed up what happened with Gail Kim and TNA. It makes you wonder if Mickey James kind of saw the writing on the wall years back, and yeah, okay, you know what? I'm done here. Let me just go ahead and move on. I've heard nothing but really good things about Gail Kim, and it's very shocking. Very shocked. I was very shocked to hear that Gail Kim got let go by TNA, that they were going to go in a different direction. At this point, we don't need to be surprised anymore, because if they can get rid of what's his name, Scott D'Amore, if they're willing to get rid of him, nobody is safe. Fucking nobody is safe. Still putting out a pretty interesting product, but you're looking at some of these moves that's going on. It's definitely head scratchers. So matches that's been announced for this week's AEW Dynamite: Timeless Tony Storm versus Penelope Ford, Cope versus Claudio Casanova, Mixed Tag Tornado Rules, Jon Moxley and Marina Shafir versus Swerve Strickland and Willow Nightingale. Will Ospreay makes his return. Also, we got the men's and women's brackets for the Owen Hart Foundation tournaments will be announced. So that's all the good stuff that we got going on there. And then for TNA Wrestling this week, we got a new episode of Impact. Elijah is going to be in action against Frankie Kazarian. We'll also hear from the TNA Tag Team Champions, the Hardys. Santino Marella will be making a special announcement. Spitfire will square off against NXT's Lash Legend and Jakara Jackson. Nick and Ryan Nemeth will challenge the Hardys for the tag team goal at TNA Wrestling's Rebellion. Don't forget about that. So that's all the stuff that's going to be coming up from Impact and TNA Resolution. So some good stuff. NXT is looking pretty good as well. By the way, the new in-ring announcer, I think his name is it Matt Nash? I think it's Matt Nash, Mike Nash. Pretty good. I like him. He sounds pretty good. I gotta admit, he's growing on me already. I think he's gonna do a fine job. Now, just remember, we're not done with Lillian Garcia. Lillian Garcia is going to continue to be involved in the WWE. She'll still be calling matches, special events. Matter of fact, I believe she's been announced for Saturday night's main event. FYI. So we haven't seen the last of her. NXT, meanwhile, for this week, Ricky Saints challenges for the NXT Gold. He's set to challenge for the NXT Championship, as he'll be challenging Sean Spears for the NXT North American Championship. Let's see. Other than that, is that all? That can't be the entire card. Is that all we know for this week's NXT? Let's see here. I'm just checking my notes here. My notes are having a hard time loading up. Hang on here. Let's see. That might be it, but let's see. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Yeah. I'm trying to see if there's anything else that's been announced. Let me go on WWE's website real quick. Go on WWE's website real quick and see if I can get you guys the latest update. Because sometimes, all right, and I have not watched Evolve yet. I have not had the free time to watch Evolve. I'm hoping I can finally get that in this week, because I think now they're what, 3 episodes in. Let's see here. Yeah, fam, I'm not seeing anything else for what's going down for NXT this week, which sucks. Yeah, I'm hoping that because I was catching up on other shows in between. I was catching up on Daredevil. I was also catching up on Raising Kanan, Raising Kanan. Yeah, it's so funny because I've been watching retro episodes of Taxi. So to see Tony Danza's character on that show and then to go into watching Raising Kanan, one, I go, hey, Tony Danza has aged pretty well. And the fact that his hair, almost virtually looks the same. He's not dying yet or anything, but, you still recognize him when you see him. But it's kind of creepy sometimes when you go from, how he looked in Taxi and you jump all the way to, Raising Kanan. But I've been watching like other stuff. I've been in once we've been done with the shows, I've been in decompress mode, right? Because I'm mostly studying and all that other stuff, but definitely seems like the load is getting much lighter, which is good. I am definitely going to be getting in some more in-ring watch time there from Evolve and a couple other promotions. I definitely want to poke my head into Women of Wrestling and see what they've been getting themselves into. Hey, before we get ready to dip out of here, I definitely want to take this time out and recognize our sponsors, because without them, content like what you're checking out right now would not be made possible. So shout out to the good kind folks over at howtosaygoodbye.org. How to Say Goodbye is a tiny tale about 3 little friends, Pete, John, and Zoe, and how they each come to terms with the loss of a loved one. While this is a children's book written for children, it also aims to help parents find the words to soothe themselves.
Oh, he's going to be WWF champion. I was kind of like Brett. Brett always said, like, he always thought,
what the hell?
Intercontinental was going to be the ceiling for him.
The hell is that?
That's kind of what I thought, just because back then you had your
Why
top
am I
guys,
hearing
and then
Jason?
you had your great workers that were sort of stuck in the middle there.
What the fuck? That sounds like Jason.
So, but I dug it. When he won the championship, I thought it was cool.
Why am I hearing Jason? Can anybody tell me?
Joseph Stewart, buy or sell
DDP
against the Macho Man at Spring Stampede, or DDP against Macho Man?
Why am I hearing Jason?
Well, I'm not gonna lie. Off the top of my head,
Wait
I don't
a minute.
remember which match.
Why am I hearing Jason?
Which event.
Jason's invading my show. Hold up.
So I don't remember.
Oh, that was funny. I love Jason. I don't know where the hell that came from. I'm not even like, do I have like some? I don't think. That's hilarious. I don't know what happened, fam. I don't know. Seriously. Normally I would know. I don't know what the hell. Let me find out, like, shit's being opened remotely without me like knowing it. That was funny. We're gonna see how many people like where they like dropped off, because that's like a nice fun Easter egg right there. Like, yeah, Alicia's doing a show, and then Jason just comes into that bitch. That's funny. All right, what were we talking about? I can't even remember now. Evolve, Your guess is as good as. Oh, we were giving a shout out to our sponsors. Yeah. We were on a serious topic there too. But yeah, check out that book, How to Say a Goodbye. Again, How to Say a Goodbye. It's available on Amazon. Take a lot. Also on Books to Read. Learn more by visiting howtosayagoodbye.org. We're also brought to you in part by our good folks, our friends over at the 5 Pillars Investing Firm. Check them out. You can visit their Instagram page and look them up at 5pillars_investing. You can find their Patreon information as well. We're also brought to you in part by AIstudios.com. If you're ready to bring your creative vision to life, check them out. Whether you're looking for stunning, lifelike animations and custom AI generated content tailored for your needs, they've got you covered. Again, AIstudios.com. Also, we're brought to you in part by Claim My SETC refund.com. You may be eligible for a refund of over $30,000 if you worked in key positions in 2021, self-employment positions. Let them help you find those breaks. It's free to apply as there's no out-of-pocket costs. Also, as long as you apply before the April 15th, 2025 deadline. Yeah, you know, taxes are due. Me, I love getting the jump on it as soon as I get my W-2. I just knock it out right then and there. That way I don't have to be like, oh, because then you'd be scattering around at the last minute, trying to find a mailbox, all that other silly crap. Ain't nobody got time for that. Last but not least, we are brought to you in part by Trend Rebel. Check them out at trendrebel.pro. Get your 7-day free trial with them. They are beginner friendly. You can become a subscriber and unlock your trading potential with Trend Rebel. As a Trend Rebel subscriber, you'll have access to the trading floor, advanced insights for all indices, stocks, and cryptos. So much more. Whether you're a beginner or you're intermediate, or maybe you're an expert, these guys definitely can work with you. So check them out. Again, they're offering a 7-day free trial. Learn more by visiting trendrebel.pro. Love all of these sponsors. Again, without them, content like what you're checking out right now would not be made possible. So thank you. And thank you, the listeners. Appreciate you guys that's been representing all month long. Whether you're checking out the shows on demand and the downloads, wherever you get your podcast, or you're checking out the YouTube channel, which if you haven't been checking out the YouTube channel, show that some love, subscribe, check out. Man, I've been uploading more and more content on there. I'm loving it. I've been doing my thing with the foodie shorts as of late. You guys just, no pun intended, you keep eating those up. I love it. A lot of feedback's been coming in on that new Domino's stuffed crust pizza, and you all are not feeling it. You all are praising me big time for hitting it on the head about what's lacking with that stuffed crust pizza. So we got some more stuff that I'll be reviewing in the coming days and the coming weeks. So definitely, if you haven't been checking out the YouTube channel, definitely show it some love. All that good jazz. All right. Shout out to all the friends that support the show, as always. And at this point, your next edition of the RCWR show, we definitely are going to be on Monday, April 7th. Tam's been picking me brain. We've been trying to sit down and do a show, but either I haven't been feeling well, or she's been exhausted from work, or I end up getting exhausted from work and classes. So we're trying to find that right. We haven't been out on a date in a long time. So I'm excited for this Wednesday because I'm actually going to be taking her to this jazz concert. We're going to be seeing Boney James. I haven't even seen if we'll be able to eat at this place. I'm hoping that we will. But I told her, I said, make sure you put your makeup on. Make sure you get yourself a nice dress. Like I plan on dressing up kind of spiffy, like we're going to have a good time. I think I might bust out a I think I might bust out the dress pants. No tie. I will probably push a dress shirt, push a blazer. You know, I think it's one of those kind of nights. So I'm looking forward to it. Should be loads fun. Can't wait. I can't wait. I'm excited for that. So that's going to be some really good R&R because we definitely need it. But as long as you're staying connected throughout social media, you guys should know what's going to be going down. All right. As far as if we're going to be sitting down doing a show together, but assuming we don't, definitely your next edition is going to be Monday night, April 7th. I'm going on and about that because remember, WWE, they're going to be back on U.S. home turf. So that means they're going to be going back to the 8 p.m. Eastern time slot. So we will, as a result, be back to our regularly scheduled programming. We'll be on live, basically, the way they seem to be doing it by 10:30, 10:45. That's when we pretty much will be coming on, pretty much immediately after Raw goes off the air. So that is going to do it until next go round, my pretty babies. I'm wishing all of y'all to be safe and most importantly, be kind to one another. I will see you guys next go round. Adios, y'all. And most importantly, take care. Peace.